The fight to repeal the Affordable Care Act is now on. There's a lot of reasons to hate it. Here are 10. First off, let's say they pass the repeal and replacement, and it's terrible. It just does horrible, and eventually the Democrats get back into office. So what do we do then? Do we pass another version of the ACA? Do we get something like the public option? Do we go for single payer? Okay, let's say that we do that. And then the Republicans someday get back into power. Do they then just do it again? At some point, this tug of war with people's lives doesn't work. The system doesn't work. Number 9, the disdain for the poor is once again in full effect. We've got Republican congressmen mocking those who have the gall to want both a phone and not to die from easily curable illnesses. We've got other Republicans saying that you should simply bankrupt yourself by going to the emergency room anytime you get sick in any fashion. Okay? It's insane, but these people are also in power. Number 8, the plan of course includes health savings accounts. Tell me again how someone who desperately needs government subsidies to maintain the coverage they have right now is going to save literally tens or hundreds of thousands of dollars in the event that they get sick. It doesn't add up, and Republicans know it. Number 7, I hate that there can be a discussion about this whole battle without it acknowledging and indeed focusing on the fact that this is all about giving a massive $600 billion tax cut to the literal richest people in the history of the world. The rest of it is window dressing, okay? It's about the money, it always was. Number 6, to demonstrate that, Tea Party leaders got together and discussed what they don't like about the bill. You might be surprised to find out that some of them actually hate it. But what do they hate? They hate that there are still some small subsidies for the poorest Americans to have access to health insurance. If there is any bounds to their hatred for the poor, I'm not able to find it. Number 5, if this replacement passes, and if someday it craters, it could, in theory, convince people of the need for a totally different policy. For instance, something like single payer or a public option. But it could also do the exact opposite. It could convince too many people that I guess the government just can't manage healthcare, can't manage health insurance. It would be insane, but that could possibly happen. That's why you don't allow the bastards to gain political power in the first place. Number 4, despite 8 years ago, Republicans telling us that the year-long process of debate and amendment that eventually led to the passage of the ACA was ramming it down people's throats, now that they're in power, they want to pass the repeal and full replacement of it in just a couple of weeks. But I'm sure they'll be called on that hypocrisy. Number 3, millions upon millions will lose access to health insurance. We know that, the numbers are already out there. And think about what will become of those people. Some will be able to get something like health insurance, but will get worse care. They'll develop chronic illnesses that they'll suffer from for years or possibly the rest of their lives. Many will go bankrupt after losing their health insurance. Families could be split up. Businesses could be lost. Obviously, we focus on the deaths for good reason, but the damage of this repeal and replacement goes far beyond just life and death, ironically. The number 2 thing that I hate about this entire battle is that it didn't have to happen in the first place. I want you to think back to a year ago, back during the Democratic primary, when we were having those vigorous debates between the Bernie supporters and the Clinton supporters about how exactly to expand upon the ACA, what next steps to make it stronger. Okay, we had that. Now think about where we're at. There was only one way we could get to this point, okay? It wasn't through Jill Stein becoming president. It wasn't through Hillary Clinton becoming president. Only with Donald Trump as president are we in the position that we're in right now. We didn't need to have this debate. We didn't need to fear that millions will lose health insurance, that tens of thousands will die. And the number 1 thing that I hate the most about this unnecessary battle, the destruction of the ACA, the repeal of it, the replacement of it with something immoral, an evil bill, and that is, of course, that hundreds of thousands will lose their lives. Every estimate says 30 to 40,000 people every year will die prematurely. Think about the lives. 10 or more 9/11s every single year because of what we're seeing being passed right now, and it didn't need to happen. Every one of those lives could have been saved, but now they will be sacrificed on the altar of the 1%'s greed. And those are the top 10 things I hate the most about this healthcare battle we're watching unfold before us right now. I think you can probably expand that list, and now's your opportunity. Leave a comment.